Hi, my name is Maria Young. Today I come to you to address a very important topic that I think people know about, but they don't exactly know the extensity of how this is plaguing our community and our society. It is called domestic violence and abuse. I want to bring a certain type of awareness, a certain type of understanding to what abuse entails. Because abuse comes in many forms, whether it be verbal abuse, whether it be physical abuse, emotional abuse, and even mental abuse. And also, abuse can come at any time and at any place, whether it be at your workplace, whether it be on the home front, in the school system. It exists everywhere, and I want to bring to light and make sure everybody understands and knows it exists, and we definitely have to put a stop to this. So what we're going to be doing is we're putting together many different segments, many different documentaries, many things that will encourage, expose, and really allow us to just focus and address this issue and put forth an effort to put a stop to domestic violence and abuse. You see, I believe that a lot of people don't quite understand how and why people get involved in abusive relationships. And I also don't believe we can grasp the concept of if it's that bad, then why don't they just leave? Well, today we'll be exposing exactly the reasons why and how this happens. I have a very special guest for you today by the name of Anne Marie Torres.
See, domestic abuse has been with me for a very long time. It started when I was a little girl with my mom. My mom used to hit me for any reason. I remember a time where I couldn't find one of her shoes and I asked her to help me. Well, she figured I was being disrespectful by asking her to help me. So she grabbed me by my hair, dragged me through the floor, and ran my head into the door a few times and told me how much of a witch, the cuss word, I was, and how pathetic I was that I couldn't even find a pair of shoes for her. And every time I turned around, there wasn't anything I can do right with my mom. If I got a B, she would slap me across the face. One time she slapped me so hard that my head hit the fence. And people saw that all the time. They would see when she would hit me. They would see when she would speak to me. I was the devil's daughter. I was pathetic. I could never do anything right in my mother's eyes. You know, every time I heard this, I kept thinking, why don't I deserve my mother's love? Why am I such an evil child? You know, because she would treat my brother and sister like they were the best things in the whole wide world, but not me. I can't remember a time where I heard my mom say, you know, I love you. I'm proud of you. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how my grades were, nothing was good enough for my mother. And I just, you know, sometimes I wonder, thinking maybe I am worthless. Maybe I am gonna amount to nothing. Why am I trying to be such a good daughter if I'll never be a good daughter? See, people ask me, why do you stay? Why do you stay living with your mom? Why don't you let us help you? 100 people ask to help me. But what people don't understand, I had a brother and sister, and they wasn't going through that, you know, and I was terrified what would happen to them if they went into the system, if they got taken away from my mom, which would have happened. This was my cross to bear, and it was unfair for me to jeopardize my brother and sister because I was going through something. So I just dealt with it. Eventually, I graduated high school and I moved out on my own. Ended up meeting a man, and we wound up living together. See, at that time, I didn't know what a normal and healthy relationship was because I lived being abused my whole life. And I did watch things on TV of women and men, you know, abusing each other, and me going, that's not gonna be me. Why does she stay? She's so stupid. She should leave him. Ain't no man gonna put a hand on me. That wasn't until I was in my own. And I was what I thought was in love with this guy. And every time I turned around, it was the same thing. Again, I was worthless. All I'll ever be is a good lover. I'll never I'll never make anybody happy. If I leave, nobody would ever love somebody as pathetic as me. So it started off with words, and I dealt with it. Then eventually it started becoming physical. And I figured, well, you know, if I fight back, he'll stop. He loves me, you know. Who else is gonna love me? I'm nobody. I'm a piece of garbage. I'm lucky that I even found him. So I stood with him for a very, very long time. 10 years to be exact. Then one day, one Christmas day, the light bulb went on. And my head said, what are you doing? This is not normal. Ironically, we were in the middle of an argument. And again, I was being told how worthless I was. And I just stopped and I looked at him and I said, you know, I'm done. It was nothing. You know, nothing nobody told me, nothing anybody said. Just my brain finally registered, this is not healthy. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was 26 years old and I was just done. I was done being treated like the fungus on somebody's feet. So, you know, as afraid of the unknown that I was, it took every bit of strength in me and every faith that I had in me that things were gonna be okay. I packed up my stuff, I told him I was done, and I moved on. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life, because now I became more aware of what abuse was, and now I can spot it when I see it. So when somebody starts treating me that way, I say, wait, hold on. You will not speak to me that way. You will speak to me with respect, because I am worth something. I am somebody. And from that day forward, I adopted the term, keep pushing forward. And that's actually what motivates me, because no matter what happens, you never know what tomorrow will bring. And my experience ended up letting me help somebody else. Somebody who I saw in the street crying, and I reached out a helping hand. And she came the next day and told me, you know what, thank you. And I said, for what? I didn't do anything. She said, you don't realize the day I met you, I was gonna kill myself. From that day forward, I put it in my head that I'm here for a reason. We are all here for a reason. Whether it's to inspire somebody, inspire ourselves, or for our children, our life is beautiful and we're all worth something, and we can never, ever, ever let anyone steal our joy or take our self-worth away, because we are all worth something. And just all I can tell you is keep pushing forward. I know I have, and you can too.
And I would like to thank Miss Anne Marie Torres for having enough courage to share her story with us today, and for being that shining example that says, yes, you can get beyond the point of abuse. Yes, you can endure, you can conquer, and you can succeed in life. And right now, I really want to commend her for all the things that she is doing. Because after stepping forth from that darkness and into the light, she has been able to do exactly what her intended purpose is. And now she aggressively pursues a life in the entertainment industry. She is not only an actress, she is a writer, she is a filmmaker, and she hosts her very own radio talk show. So again, bravo, Miss Anne Marie Torres, and I thank you so much for leading the way.